Hello, welcome to Conscious Business Talks. And thank you for being patient with me today. It was one of those unavoidable things that I have learned to roll with. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support and love you guys. Vicky, Robin, you're awesome. So glad to have you here. Makes my heart so happy to see you. Thank you. Um, I wanted to share something with you today that it's sort of been on my mind today as I kind of float around doing other things. So I thought, who better to share it with than you? So here goes. I had offered to support a friend that I made in somewhere that I met, and we had a brief meeting. It sounded really good. This is a few months ago, and he had indicated his desire to do something for we were in a program together. So, and just in what we were noticing as a gap that we thought, oh, this is something that's going to keep a lot of people from actually achieving what they have expressed as their desire in terms of their goals and what is important to them to achieve for what they have decided is really aligned with their purpose, or something, for those of the people that we knew who hadn't really identified it as anything to do with their purpose. Even so, we could tell that it was really, really important just in how they perceived their level of success and their choices. Sorry, I'm trying to move my desk because I'm noticing that it's really high. So anyway, Robin, life happens, time is irrelevant. Time, it's kind of funny. We can add a lot of pressure on ourselves because of time, and I've been as guilty of that as anybody else. But when it's kind of funny how when the chips are really stacked up, what is it that comes up that teaches you what is really important, right? So for me, it's like, okay, roll with it and make the best of it, because maybe this is exactly where I'm supposed to be in just the manner that I'm supposed to show up. And hey, actually, check this out. I'm going to lower this even further, because tell me what you think of my shirt if you can see it. Okay, can you see it? This is Mr. Cheshire Cat. And here you go. If you don't know what you want, it doesn't really much matter which path you take, right? If you don't know where you want to go, sorry, if you don't know where you want to go, because I have a couple of different ones, then it doesn't really much matter which path you take. And I had to wear that today because it was cracking me up that how true that actually is. But anyway, back to my share about my friend. So as we were kind of noticing that these people are not going to actually hit their goals, what can we do to support? And he really wanted to give back because he had done really, really well. And so both he and I got talking, going, okay, well, what can we do to support those that we are noticing are going to need a little bit of extra support than what they're getting through this, right? So he decided that he wanted to set up a mastermind, and I said, okay, I'll support you. So today was the first call for that mastermind, and he's a pretty awesome dude. So anyway, long story short, everybody who was present on the call introduced themselves. And the person who went just before me, it was, they had, perhaps it was where I was hearing, but I don't think so, because another person chimed in with the same thing before I did. And all you heard was, I don't have, I don't have, I don't have, I don't have, and this is why I cannot do. Robin, love you. Yes, if you don't know where you're going, any road can take you there. Mwah. It's so true. But yeah, this person was, saying, I don't have any money coming in. I can't deal with this anymore. And I am not going to pay a cent to anybody anymore. And I just have to learn how to do all of this thing. But I need a website. I need a funnel. I need all I heard was jargon and all the things that were missing. And now when you run a business, you know that none of those things, they're nice to have, but are those really necessary for you to get some revenue coming in? Hey, MJ, so glad to see you. But it's not, right? Pick up a phone call, go and contribute value to somebody else, speak with somebody, reach out to somebody, and discuss what your skill set is and what you wish to offer, right? Get some influx, some flow, so you can lift that weight. So and I really try to be in a space where I'm just listening, right, to see what's coming up, what are the things that I'm identifying. And as I'm listening, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of jargon I'm hearing, and a lot of, despite all the stuff that this person, because I know what was involved in the program, and they had actually gone on and signed up for a couple more. They had a dedicated coach they were working with and so on. And yet all I was hearing was, I need to put on more hats. I need to put on more hats. I need to put on more hats. And I'm not going to give anything to anybody else unless, I'm done. I'm just going to be, bringing stuff in. But I can't do that until I have a website and I have a funnel and I have a this and I have a that and I have like all this stuff, right? So this other person who was on the call, they chimed up, and with true heart, because I could tell they had experience dealing with this, they said, look, if there is no revenue coming in, the first order of business is to have some monies flowing in. So this is what you need to do. Pick up the phone. You need to be on, like, blah, blah, blah. They listed off 5 or 6 things that they thought would really help. And I thought that was really, like, just the way you could tell their heart was in contributing and really helping this person deal with this feeling. The whole experience was just so weighed down and so frustrated, right? Overwhelmed, but also on some aspects almost belligerent, right? And the first words out of that other person's mouth was not a thank you. It wasn't an acknowledgement. It was like, I'm already doing that. That's how I'm getting my business. And I'm like, I didn't hear any business coming, and all I heard was there's no money coming in, and all this money has gone out. So I need to make up for it. And so then now the person who contributed is like, oh, well, sorry, I didn't hear that. And my experience is I'm watching this exchange is, it's not that this person like is a bad person, or they're not capable, or they don't have an expertise, or they don't have any value to contribute. It's just that sometimes we get so caught up in the words that and the feelings that we are associating with certain things, and what our perception of that is, that we close ourselves off to what gifts we may be receiving, and having that, I call it the eyes of wonder. So tell me if you agree. But it's literally the eyes of wonder, which let you look at something, even if you know and have heard it before, but look at it with new eyes, right? What is it that I may get of value from it that I may not be getting right now? So then along came my turn to introduce myself, and as I was introducing myself, I had noticed that this group had a lot of different strengths and skills, and it was going to be a really good group for people to leverage, their and each other's strengths and exchange value, and just a mutual benefit for everybody. And so I acknowledged that. I said, it's actually really cool because I'm just seeing there's so many different skill sets in this group and so many strengths. And then just as an add-on, I kind of mentioned that there's, sometimes we get caught up in the jargon of what we are hearing from others we need. And we take our focus off the thing that if we truly wish to have a certain goal, especially a one of revenue, where we're like, okay, we need to get some in, what is the minimum viable way that we can test and get that flow started? right? And funnels are like have existed in every single business well before digital marketing world ever called them funnels, right? If you have customers and clients coming in, you're making money in your business, you've got a funnel, right? So it doesn't matter what you call it, it's just about how you're attracting people into your world, how you're exchanging value with them, and why are they sticking around in this world of yours. There's a funnel. We're just not necessarily seeing it on a web page. But is that really going to stop us from exchanging value with these people? So as I didn't quite say all of that. What I said was, the acknowledgement of the skills and the experience that I saw in the group and the ability to leverage. And I was excited, actually genuinely excited that this was going to be this place. And the experience I had before I even finished talking fully was from this person, and they listed off their academic achievements. They listed off, how they actually, before they even did that, they were like, why is everybody dumping on me? And I was just like, oh, but it made me realize from a true place of compassion and understanding that it wasn't that what was being said was not giving value. It was where that person currently was and whether they could actually receive it. And it doesn't mean they will never receive it. It just means that they couldn't receive it right now. So all that said, it was literally me standing there and going, I'm noticing that. So it brings up for me the question, am I doing that somewhere where I'm not aware of it doing? What am I resisting? And what is it costing me when I resist that? Right? Because I could stand up on a big tall pedestal right now and say, oh, I never do that. No, I'm sure there are areas that I may not be aware of it, but perhaps I'm resisting something that I truly need to receive and hear and test and try. And maybe, just maybe, I have a particular blinder on where I'm like, no, I already know that. No, I'm already doing that. And what do you think? Am I not capable? I know all these things. I have all these degrees. Do you know how many courses I've taken? I'm like, I could do that. And maybe I am. I don't believe I do, but I really had to catch myself thinking, wow, it's not about what's happening outside of my little bubble. It's what's happening inside of my bubble. And where, as a business owner, as a human being, am I doing the same thing? And if I am, I need to catch it and be really aware so that I can receive it and have better flow with more ease, with more grace, just coming to me. Because if my purpose truly is that I want to leave things better, I want to impact as a conscious business owner the lives that I touch with what I create, then I have to absolutely be aware of that. Step up to asking the hard questions and taking a really good look around to see where is it showing up. And what can I do about it? Because I bet you anything, if I'm doing that, it's costing me. Just like my heart was going out to this person going, oh my gosh, I know what it feels like not to have any monies coming in. I literally went pro bono, totally. Some of you know that. And while it sounds truly like so noble, it actually wasn't in the capacity that there wasn't a full value being created and exchanged. It couldn't be because there was not really a full exchange. So I am going to go take a look at comments because you have such incredible thoughts and insights that I love to read and see what you thought. Have you been in a situation where you're like, wow, look at the walls? But when you look at the walls around somebody else or yourself, what's the next step that it leads you to, right? And what have you noticed? So I'm going to go to the comments so I can actually check it out. And Vicky says, Attractor field, conflicting languaging. Oh my gosh. Isn't it true? So true. So true. And there was an actual flow, because when they elaborated and said that they had business that they had been picking up, from different places, well, there was an influx of value, like of money, of revenue. But to say I'm getting none, that's even denying that flow in the first place, right? What is it you're producing for somebody else that they're hiring you to serve them? And what is causing you to not see that as an exchange setup already? And Vicky says, sounds like they were frustrated because their business hasn't met their expectations and they're disappointed with the results for their efforts and have a bit of poverty mentality. I believe that may be very true. But what also came up for me is that when we hold what we have already, like, I'm guilty of this, right? How many courses, how many programs, how many degrees did I go for, right? To kind of feel like, hey, I can handle this. And as entrepreneurs, how many times we get attracted into, oh my gosh, I need to get that so I can feel more certain about what I'm presenting. And sometimes it's absolutely needed, because why would you not continue to develop and grow and evolve? But when it comes from a place of, I'm not enough and what I already have is not enough, then you continue to try and fill a hole and it doesn't fill, and you're now distracted away from your true purpose and what you're supposed to, the role that you're supposed to serve in your business, because now you're distracted by the perception that this is still not enough. I need to take more, right? I need to get more. I need to get more knowledge. So I guess what I'm trying to say, and really what I am trying to say, is that the place where you are coming from, the state of being that you are making the decision from, matters, right? And because it's a foundational part of, that whole intentionality, that whole belief system, and what you're, as Vicky said, what you're attracting, right? Who are you attracting? What are you attracting? And is it truly what you want to attract? And Robin says, what a great question to ask yourself. Well, it's because it's so easy to judge, right? And look outward to see, oh, this person, oh my gosh, right? So easy. And first instinct sometimes, right? But the hard questions are what actually lead to the growth, right? If you don't ask yourself that and just assume that I'm never, ever doing that, well, isn't that a wall in itself? Isn't that a cage in itself, right? And true freedom comes from challenging those cages and questioning those assumptions. So this is what I mean. That was my, like, oh, truly didn't mean to actually offend you. But next thing was, walls, resistance. And am I doing it? What is it costing me? Right? Because I could see the cost right there in front of me. And the contrast, because don't get me wrong, the first person who offered the value and then another person also did, right? So as I'm seeing what they were contributing and how their attempts were met, I was like, these people genuinely, do they not need support? They absolutely do, but they stepped up to contribute value. It was so cool to see, right? As a conscious entrepreneur, as a conscious business owner, they shared their experience of what was true for them in their business in an effort to help another business owner. There was no, hey, I'm going to hoard this knowledge so I don't get, I get to keep it. And if you want it, can you come pay me? Right? It was a true exchange of value, which I thought was super cool. Larissa, how great to see you. I'm truly glad that you're here, my friend. So, thoughts. As always, You're welcome to share them with me. You're welcome to challenge me on any assumption that you see me holding myself back with. And a pleasure having you here with me tonight. I will see you next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 Pacific Time, and 10:30 a.m. I believe it is Friday at Brisbane. Oh, apparently I can't. I have to show this from Matt. Hang on. Focusing on the problem may not be the best idea. This creates a situation where we must use energy to prove the problem exists. Fixing the problem from the problem's level makes the problems hard to fix. Even once one is willing to look at things from a different angle, it is hard to do. Whoa. That is truly insightful. I couldn't agree more. Whenever, and this wasn't something that was, I think it was a realization developed, right, for me, where it's like whenever, especially people who really want to help people, how often do we jump into helping right away? Because we want to fix it. We want to fix the problem, make it go away, right? But fixing a problem from the level of the problem, right? Assuming that it is a problem without really understanding the full context to say, is it a problem? And really understanding to see what is the real problem, because sometimes the real problem hides behind the surface problem. I absolutely appreciate you saying that, Matthew, because focusing on the problem itself without looking to see what's really relevant and at the root of it will keep you just caught in the weeds and in the shallows and not actually get to that place that you're really trying to get past it, right? Anyway, love you. See you next Thursday, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, and 10:30 a.m. Brisbane time. I wish you guys an amazing evening, day, wherever you are, and here's some music to wrap things up. Learned that from Vicky herself.